Good morning and welcome to another episode. Today I'm joined by my friend Susan. Susan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Deion?
I'm doing well. It's funny, we talked a little bit before this, Suzanne, and we bonded over having hyphenated last names. There are many people that have hyphenated last names, so that was like an immediate synergy. But before we jump in, Suzanne, tell us a little bit about you. We'll talk about your business, but what's your story, your background?
Yeah. Well, I'm Suzanne Combs-Brown, and first of all, thanks for having me. And I'm a leadership and business coach. I own my own business. It's called Suzanne Combs-Brown Kairos Culture Coaching Consulting. And my background is, first of all, I'm a wife, and I'm a mom to 5 kids who are now all adults. So the last one left a couple years ago, which was sad for a while, and now it's not sad at all, and it's very fun. And
have your life back.
Yes. And I also spent over 25 years in corporate America and learned amazing skills and got to work with amazing people and amazing culture. However, almost 3 years ago, I decided to take all that I learned and knew that I loved coaching and development and start my own business and go full-time with it. So I coach leaders in small and medium-sized businesses and corporations through one-on-one coaching. And then I also founded a program called Kairos Leadership Collective, where I work with women leaders specifically, because when I was in my corporate roles, I always found that women leaders especially felt isolated, didn't have all the confidence and clarity they needed when they needed to make tough decisions, have difficult conversations. And so I founded the program and the collective so that I work with women in terms of building that confidence and clarity through my framework and really hone into just self-awareness as their CEO superpower, as I like to call it.
Yeah, I love that, CEO superpower. And we talked a little bit before this, but it's like self-awareness is kind of the secret sauce for any leader, especially young women. So are you helping women that are actually in business? Are they entrepreneurs? What age range are you kind of taking people under your wing?
Yes. Yes to all of it. And
yes,
all of it. So, yes, I have clients that I'm working with who are just getting into the job market and wanting to really be self-aware right from the start, which I think about that and my career when I started, my professional career in my early 20s. Had I had my framework and the skills that I gained over those 2 decades, I would have made a lot of decisions differently, and I would have had a lot different confidence level much earlier on. So I have women that I'm working with in that space, and then I have women that are either starting businesses or have been in business and are looking to grow it and have to make some really tough decisions and difficult decisions in that space. And I also have women that are in corporate America that either A, are very happy in their career and don't want to get stagnant and really want to have some clarity and confidence in how they engage themselves and keep engaged, or they have a decision to make because they're at a different season and they don't want to lose all they've gained, but they also need to decide what's next for them. So I say yes to all because I have all of that within my program, and that's part of the thing I love about it is the diversity of it. Just whether I always say whether you're leading in your living room or your boardroom or on the ball field, like leadership crosses all of those boundaries and goes at all tables and in all rooms. And
I love that.
I love working with any women that want to grow in that and be more self-aware.
And you're spot on when you said you covered the entire spectrum from like A to Z.
Yeah.
When you think about self-awareness, we talked a little bit about assessments, but if someone sees this and they're like, I want to become self-aware, what's a good starting point?
Yeah. So just the key and the initial step for me around self-awareness is, first of all, how are you doing it for yourself? What do you have in place? And we overcomplicate it. So you mentioned assessments, and I very much love assessments, and we talked about, I'll take them all, and I've taken them all. And I work with emergenetics within my framework. However, sometimes I think we overcomplicate that, and self-awareness is some simple steps, like, do you reflect on I like to say, what's 3 things that happened today that you're grateful for?
For sure.
What's 2 things that happened today that you wish were different? And what's 1 thing about tomorrow you're looking forward to? That is self-reflection.
Simple.
And it is a simple step that we can do in our minds, on paper, on your phone, wherever you are. And if you look at that on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, it will show you some trends.
For sure.
You will notice some things that give you joy in your gratefulness, that cause you to step back and maybe say, I wasn't aware of those 2 things every day are kind of consistent in trends of being difficult for me. So we overcomplicate it. And think about things that you're doing in your life today that you can put those steps in, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to cost money per se, and it doesn't have to be formal like 360 feedback or an assessment, unless you want it to be.
No, I love that. And then a lot of times, we, like you said, we overcomplicate it. Someone once told me it comes down to cheers and chores. What gives you energy and feels like a cheers, and then what feels like a chore. And that's probably the ultimate self-assessment or self-awareness tool. What do you enjoy doing, right? And then what do you have to do? And you're like, oh my God, I hate this. I don't feel like doing this, right?
Yes, absolutely. I have another activity, and this is another one, and I'm giving away some of my work, but it's simple.
Free value,
Like, do it. So just looking at like activities in your life and putting a score. Is it an A activity or task, a B activity, a C, or a D? A being best and high energy, D being worst and low energy. But then also thinking about when we schedule those. Like you and I were talking about, I know that I love to coach and meet with people and help them develop. And I also know I'm a morning person. So I tend to, whenever I have control over it, which is a lot more than I give myself credit for, I schedule people in the afternoon, actually, for those things when I can, because that gives me energy. And spreadsheets and doing my budgeting and my accounting, then I schedule that in the morning because I'm a morning person. I have high energy, but that task does not give me energy. So like going back to being aware of that and confident in saying, oh yeah, that's a task I'm not great at and it takes me longer.
For sure.
But then taking that into how you schedule your day and being aware of that is a huge, huge activity that I do. And again, it's not complicated.
Yeah.
It's something that really gives us a lot of awareness and helps us plan differently and make decisions differently.
For sure. Wow, you're so spot on with that. I'm a morning person as well, so I know the mornings are like my sacred time. But then there are people that are like sleep elitists. They're early risers, and they can be a night owl. So it just kind of depends on the need.
Yeah.
So at this stage in your business, Suzanne, how can the community support you? How can people find you?
Yeah. Well, there's several ways. First of all, I'm just going to point people in an easy way to my website. It's SuzanneCombs-Brown.com, and there's lots of information there about courses that I offer and upcoming events. But hey, if you see me in the community, which I love to go to community events like 1 Million Cups and like other events, just come introduce yourself and let's get to know each other. You know, I always tell people, go to events and network, not to necessarily get your next client or sign that next contract, but to add new great people to your life. And if you go in with that attitude, then everything else kind of comes to you in the ways that it needs to. So if you see me, introduce yourself. I'd also say I have different events coming up that you can look on Eventbrite. I have one next Tuesday the 8th, which is No and Not Today is a Strategy. And we're going to talk about and teach on concepts around saying no and not today as parts of being aware of how you manage your time in your life.
Sure.
And then I have a virtual Kairos Leadership Collective for my program. I have an all virtual one kicking off. It's the first one. And we kick that off October 21st. So you can find that on my website as well.
So you have some exciting things coming up here soon.
Yeah, super exciting. Love doing the work.
I love that. And thanks for giving that networking tip. I always tell people in Nebraska, nice is a real thing.
Yeah.
I have cold called so many CEOs, leaders. No one has ever said no to, hey, can we just grab coffee?
Right.
And they're always so surprised because they think I want something.
Yeah.
And really, I'm just trying to pick their brain and get to know them.
Yeah.
And that has paid dividends more so than I'm trying to make them a client and, have this selfish or hidden agenda. It's just genuine connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really aware that I can't do this on my own, and I need other people in my line of work and every other line of work to collaborate with and help me be my best self. And I want to help them as well. So
I love that.
I'm all for it.
So any final tips you'll give to the viewers about whether it's personal development, self-awareness? You made the big jump going from corporate to being a business owner, so there's so much in there, but any final tips you would give people?
There's two. I'll stick with two.
Two.
So one of them is one of my favorite quotes, and I always say I'm horrible at sourcing the quote, but I can tell you it's not mine. So, and one of them is, it doesn't get harder, it doesn't get easier, it just gets different. And why I love that is because that applies to all of us. Like, we all have different seasons, and knowing that we're not gonna stay the same and we shouldn't stay the same, nor are our seasons, and that's why self-awareness is such a key to our life, and that's why I call it our CEO superpower of leading our life and business. So that quote and just being aware of that. And the second one I would say is just the concept of our self-awareness is our responsibility. And I was sharing with you about the golden rule that we're often raised with of treat others as we want to be treated. And I really am on a mission to help people with a different rule, which is treat others as they want to be treated. And that all starts with self-awareness. And so the more we can do that, the less will be a bottleneck to our life and our business, because when we're not self-aware, that's what we're doing.
No, I love it. You nailed it. And I'll land this plane or kind of wrap this episode by saying being self-aware makes you live differently, and going with what you said, it doesn't get harder, it doesn't get easier. It's just going to be different. But when you know who you are, how you operate, and how you think, and also being aware of other people, it's a different world. So there you go. With that, thank you for watching this episode. Suzanne, you are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Deion. Great to talk with you today.
All right. See you in the next one.
Thank you.